of another day trading the financials. The day session is now over. July the 16th. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. I mean, where does the time go? So here we are trading 1974.25. My guess is that's where we're going to close. Came into the E-mini this morning, and we said the easiest trade to see was failure to take out 76.78. That's what happened. And we also had a buy in the 70.72 area. So this is where we saw the market. The news this morning, generally speaking, was negative for the indexes, and that helped our sell off the top. But the market rallied in to retest this morning's high off that industrial production number that was not favorable. So it's never really clear cut on the E-mini. We got a higher low and a higher high, so this screen favors buying weakness to retest the current high of 78, and because we're not rejecting it, we got a pretty fair chance of testing that tomorrow. Looking at the F2 screen on the E-mini, it's also a P pattern with volume and time matched. We've got new buying. Ironically, the worse the news, the more likely this contract is to rally. Day after day, we get nothing but a stream of articles by fundamentalists that talk about they can't recommend being long the stock market, and it's overbought. And it's getting pretty thin, and yet the market trades higher. So what we have is since 3 of 2009, Fed support has brought in the buyers, and the Fed is still supporting the market. And until the market actually generates that second wave of selling, after the first wave of selling off of fundamental news, we get a big piece of obvious news. My feeling is we're in a trading range, worst case, with an upward bias. So I don't see any reason for us not to make it to 2,000. Kind of one of those nice round numbers that everybody could get excited about. I mean, the Dow has taken out 17,000. Why not the E-mini? So we're dealing with a P shape. We've got resistance at 76.78. And selling failure to make new highs is the trade. It's the easiest trade to see. It will be that until we take it out. Second sell zone will be in the 80 area. And then for the overnight session, I think our 70.72 is still reasonable unless we crash and burn this afternoon. We had it there all day. We didn't change it. And then the area I really like to get long is 65.67. Do have news tomorrow. We have jobless claims looking for their default 310. Housing starts at 1.02. Permits at 1.037. That would be positive. It would reflect NAHB's 54 reading for the housing index today. And a lot of that increase in that housing index came from expectations. It didn't come from houses coming on the ground. And Philly Fed at 12.5. Natural gas inventories will be released, but no one will pay attention to them outside of natural gas traders. So, selling failure basically to take out 78. And then I think if we make new highs and blow through, something above 80 would be the next spot. So we'll make 80 for Globex, plus or minus the sell point. 70.72 buy. And 65.67 buy. So we had a good day trading the E-mini. Our ideas were right. We caught both sides of the market. You had that information in your hand before the day session opened. Plenty of time to act. Okay, looking at the note, we got an inside day. That usually means trading range. If the E-mini breaks out and makes new highs tomorrow, even though the news was somewhat supportive today, I imagine will come a little lower. Now the anomaly is the knob spread went from 12 to 1208. And this is a perfect example of how you can play longer term fundamentals and not have exposure to the vagaries of trading outright contracts. The knob spread is strong and getting stronger. It's not giving up 12. And somebody's going to be right. The bond players or the stock players. And if you have to bet money on who's going to be right, it'd be on bond players. Okay, this is an inside day. With perhaps a lower bias. We've got an attractor down here at 12 that the market could get to pretty easily with a little help from the news. So we've been selling the last 4 days. Well, we'll see if we sell tomorrow. This screen says trading range tomorrow. Looking at the F2 screen, we're dealing with a P. Didn't rally on the industrial production news. Didn't break on the PPI. But nobody's playing inflation because the Fed is not increasing interest rates to curb inflation. So we're dealing with a P. And again, the easiest trade to see is going to be failure to take out 30.5 to 1.5. And the second sell will be 3 to 7. On the buy side, 25 to 21. I think that works overnight. And then our second buy is 13 to 17, leaning against that high volume number at 12. And we do have news tomorrow that can impact the trading. If they see a big jump in the housing start number, that's, oh yeah, the Fed's second leg of their economic stool, housing starts are coming back. That could have more impact than it normally does. And looking at the 30-year, the 30-year just is really hanging in well, and we're developing a pretty big P up here. And I think it's, again, normally when the financials sell, the bond leads the way down, and when it rallies, it leads the way up. But the number of players that are long the 30-year and short the 10-year for an interest rates going lower are holding the market up. So right here we have a selling failure to take out 8 to 12. Then 15 to 19. I don't think we can break it out. Got some help from the news. On the buy side, for the overnight session, we're going to make it 29 to 01. It's pretty aggressive. It is for Globex. Normally we'd be trying to buy 21s to 25s, where we'll put our buy to. And if you start to see the knob spread narrow, then you would take your buy down to the number 2 point. Okay, gold found sellers at our second point today, the 1305 area plus or minus. Came off. This week we've had $3 billion thrown at the gold market. Actually, $4 billion at the market, and it came off a bunch. It came off from 1340 to the high volume number at 1293, just below that. And just a second. Had to sign for a package. I am a multitasker for sure. So looking at gold, this 1305 to 10 area is pretty good resistance, and we've got support 90 to 95. And we have a distribution that started lower, but you can see that volume built higher. So as long as we stay below 1310, this market can actually trade lower. Probably not off of fundamentals, just off of central bank intervention. We talked about resistance here and here, and you can see that this second point held the market. So we're at 98 right now, a sell of 3 to 5, and then of 9 to 11. Probably more interested in on the buy side down here, and I'd like to buy the 93, 95 area. Let them head a little bit lower, but may have to pay up. So I like the long side better than the short side at these levels, and we'll make buy 2. We're going to lean against 90, a round number. We originally hoped to buy the 85, 87, which has been a good area for us before, but they stopped the market just below the high volume number at 93. So these high volume numbers will pull the market to it, and that much we know. And then how much farther or how far past you go is up to the market, how badly people want it. Okay, crude oil held in pretty good today. It too was sold heavily, just like gold was. And it started a nice comeback from yesterday. There is some pretty pronounced escalation of the fighting in the Ukraine. Israel and Hamas, the game was back on. Hamas basically said no ceasefire. And again, these guys will buy another 5 years of staying power in it with the local population. They'll be able to jump up and down and point to all the problems as being caused by Israel, the destruction they've done to it, to the Palestinians, and the injustice and the unfairness, etc. And they'll keep being able to feed themselves pretty nicely and handsomely from the financial aid given to it by the rest of the world. It's a game, it's a racket. These troublemakers are in every population now, and they know how to shake down those that have money. They know the protection racket, and that's basically what is being done between the Palestinians and Israel right now. So the fighting is starting to escalate in the Ukraine once again. Don't know what the outcome of the Gaza Strip deal can do. You got Egypt, you've got Syria, you've got Jordan, you've got Lebanon. There's been some fighting in Lebanon. Lebanon arrested the people that fired some rockets into Israel. But it's real easy for things to get out of hand, and that brings the war premium back in. So we said right up here, this 87 to 67, so basically 75 plus or minus is pretty good resistance, this area right here, and we've got a low volume number right there. So we got to the high volume number. We're still pointed higher. My guess is we're going to try resistance, so we'll make 75 to the buck, sell 1, and then the 102.50 area, sell 2. If the fighting escalates, we could definitely get there in crude. One headline will move you up. Last rotation down was 101. So we'll make 75 to 101, buy 1. May have to pay up a little bit. See where the first rotation takes us in London. And then 25 to 50 for buy 2. Okay, on the euro, I mean, it's just dead. And I think we're headed to 135, so I'm comfortable being short, but it's just, there's just not a heck of a lot to work with. And the news and the markets start in London. That's what moves it. This market is liable to be quiet until the fall when the full contingent of players are back. I do like the short side because my idea is we're going to at least get stops below 135. We know Mario and crew would love to see that happen. So they're not going to. They just rhetorically will never come in and talk up the euro, even though it does trade higher after the speeches. So we came in today wanting to sell 50 plus or minus. We had a 15 to 25 buy. The buy produced a small winner. We didn't quite make it up to 50. We're at 26 last. So this 35 to 45 area is sell one. Then 60 to 75 will be sell two. On the buy side, we're going to play for 135 even for buy one. And I will leave it at that. We had another really good day trading. The levels worked really well for us. If you'd taken the trades, you could have prospered. If you don't know how to take the trades, every hour I offer to walk you through trades and setups after 10 Central. I don't know what more I could do to encourage participation and questions, but I'm here to help you.